We're going to make a YouTube of a recent make and take that we had here at Photocraft. The original card idea was shared with us from Roberta Mao, and a very cute card, and the main feature is this pop-up flower. So we're going to show you our version of it that we did in a recent make and take. Just as a quick overview of what we're using for this project. Paper-wise, we're using 7 sheets of quarter sheet of 8.5 by 11. Best to use text weight papers because we are going to fold these. We're using a heavier cardstock for our backing for our card. And tools wise, we're going to be using the Sizzix Big Shot, a Cut-A-Bug embossing folder, Nestabilities die to do the cut, a stamp to do some design work in the middle, scissors and double stick tape, and the Score Buddy, which is a new card tool just to score it down the middle. For all practical purposes, the regular double stick tape works for this. We're going to be using the red liner just so you can see it better for the video. And we're also going to be blinging it up with stickles, glitter glue, and also some of our line of all natural accents flowers. So let's just start with this. First thing is to use Memento ink. We're going to ink up our stamp. We want to stamp right in the middle of the paper. There's going to be a little bit of waste doing this, but our flower die is quite large, so it's going to cut out pretty close to the edge. So after we have it stamped in the middle, we kind of want to center the die here in place. And because we are going to be cutting with the die under the paper, we're going to flip this whole thing over. So I'm just going to tack it in place with 3M removable tape. On the Big Shot, you want to use wafer thin dies with the whole platform in place. Your cutting board, in this case, blade side up so the paper is over there, and cover it with your second board and just crank that through. So this is our cut for one piece. Next step is to fold this in half. I want to go from valley of the petal to valley of the petal instead of across each petal tip. So I'm going to fold that in half here, open it, and fold in half again. So each of these cutout flowers, you're going to do the fold 4 times across each half. And one more time here. So the back of our flower looks like this. What we're going to do with our scissors, and I find it a little bit easier to cut from the back side so I can see my folded lines a little better. We're going to cut out one portion here, or one petal, to the center. Take that out. So now we have, originally it was an 8 petal flower, we've taken out 1 petal, and now we're going to overlap the 2 ends. To hold this together, you can use glue, but double stick tape is faster because it adheres immediately. Just going to put about a ½ inch here, take off the backing, and overlap the flower. And then that will collapse to half like this. And we're going to repeat this for each of these other papers. Okay, to continue where we just left off, I continued the process of making the flower from the yellow to making 3 of the light purple, like this one here, and then 3 of the darker purple. Okay, and so same process, we folded all of them in half across the valleys, cut out 1 section, and overlap 2 sections to make it a 6 petal flower now that will cup and bowl this way. I've laid it out so we can see how to put this flower together now. So in the center I have the yellow. Above it I have the light purple. Then on the two sides I have the two darker purples, two lighter purples again, and on the bottom dark purple. So actually this way it's going to go light, dark, light, dark, light, dark around the center. And again, we said that we used red liner tape, which is not necessary to make it this strong, but for purposes of being able to see this better, you can see that on this one we put 3 pieces of tape. It's kind of important to keep it, we're just going to tape the top edges of the petals together. So if you imagine an imaginary line from this dip to this dip, we want to have it just about above or at that line. If we make it too far down, the flower will hold together but it won't open as fully. So this one has 3 pieces of tape. Our center has 3 pieces of tape, nothing on the back side. So all we're showing is on the front side. The 2 on the top here have 2 pieces of tape on the 2 top petals, and then the 2 under that just have a piece of tape on the next top petals. The bottom one has absolutely no tape. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start assembling this. And what we want to do is take off all our tapes, or the backings of it. So there's going to be a total of 12 connections, so we use 12 pieces of tape. Maybe we'll take a break and I'll show you once I get all the tape backings off. Okay, so I've removed all the tape backings, and we're going to start assembling it by taking the top one here, which is the light purple, and we're going to overlap it with the darker purple and just overlap the right hand side here. So I want to kind of look at the top edge here and also look at my bottom meeting over there. And then we take the next one on the side, and again just repeat and overlap just that one side again. Like that. Now we take our center. This is going straight up the middle and overlap these 3 sections. Okay, then this side will overlap from the bottom, so we're going to leave the top open and this center open. Repeat on the left hand side the same way. And our last piece is waiting for these 3 open pieces right here on the very top. So we did this properly. Our flower will now open up like this. Okay, to mount this now, we take our card stock, which is an 8.5 by 11 cut in half. We're just going to use our score buddy here and score this in half. Half of 8.5 by 11 is 4 1/4. So right here, the asterisk, and score that straight down. I want to use a fairly heavy cardstock because we're going to be opening and closing our card quite a bit. And just to make the front a little bit more fancy to match the theme of our flowers, we're going to use this Sizzix embossing folder. I think originally I said earlier Cuttlebug, but this one's a Sizzix folder. Just line that up here and close that. And because this is a thicker medium versus our wafer thin die, we now open up tab number 2 on the multi-purpose board for the Big Shot. Put down our platform, feed this through here, and create our sandwich. Push that forward, crank it through. And this is how our card base looks like now. So we're just ready to mount this in here. Now we want to have it fairly centered, so the flower is not right at our fold line, not right out at the outside, and about equidistant from the top and bottom. And all we're going to do is attach a piece of tape right here at the top, and one on the opposite side. We want to follow the natural fold lines of the flower that we just created, and also where it folds in the card. So the best way to get this all aligned now is just put a piece of tape here, release that backing, and then just close the card down flat. Flip the whole thing over, and now we're going to put a piece of tape over here. And again, just on the tip here. Remove that, and just close the card down again. So now our card will have that and open up this way. Okay, then we're just going to start just doing the finishing embellishing now. Okay, so there were a couple other tools I forgot to bring out earlier, but I used a wire cutter to take off the backs of the wires from the flowers here. I normally leave a very short tail here so that the flower won't come apart. And I'm going to use the multi-mono glue. Otherwise, I like to use zip dry to use with our flowers also. Just a little bit of glue there, and put our flower down. So I got 6 flowers on the card there. And just for one more element of bling, we're going to use the Stickles glitter glue. I like to just put it around the card here. And I always do the glitter glue the very last because you know, depending on how thick you put it on, it'll take anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes for it to dry. And it's easy to forget that it's still wet and touch it and mess up your card a little bit. So we're just going to do it on the thank you right here. And this is, to me, always one of the easiest ways to bling up your card design with minimal costs. It's only $2.50 a bottle here, and all of your particles of glitter are completely encased inside the glue itself, so there's minimal flaking or stray particles coming out. And you have a fairly small tip, so it's pretty easy to control the application of your glitter there. And there's several different colors of glitter and all that, but I tend to like the more clear one. I used to use crystal a lot, but now we seem to like Stardust better. So I've got our thank you, and just going to do the dots here around the frame. Up to you how much you want to add to all that. And we're almost done here. And just like here. Okay, so that's our finished card. We're just going to set that aside and let it dry. Again, we have the thank you here on the front, and our flower pops open here. Okay, so thanks for tuning in and seeing our first Blogspot YouTube on our card making, and as we continue to make more make and takes here at Photocraft, we'll try to put more of our projects on for your viewing. Thank you. Bye-bye.